let's say you are outside playing and you sever your arm and it's bleeding like this. If you sever your arm, you're going to lose a lot of blood. They're going to rush you to the hospital. So this is you right here. So you're rushed to the hospital. The ER is the ambulance is addressing the wounds, making sure you don't bleed out. You get to the ER. The doctors, just like in Grey's Anatomy, because that's how everything in real life is, are saying, "Oh, we need the IV fluid stat. Let's get blood type. Blah 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 blah." And they're going to the mom. "What's your son's blood type? We need to know." Mom's freaking out. I don't know. So they have to figure out what kind of blood to give you. So 1, you don't die from blood loss, and 2, you don't die from getting the wrong blood. So let's play scenario. You're the kid that just got his arm severed. You got the arm in a bag on ice. They're going to try to reattach it. How are they going to do this? You got all this blood falling out of your body. They got to replace that blood so you don't die. Here's what they do. If you were blood type A, let's remember, that means on the surface of your red blood cells, you have antigens that say, "Hey, we're blood type A." And then you have these protectors called antibodies that say, "We're going to get anything that is not A, and we're going to attack it." Meaning, they have antibodies that are going to attack anything that is B. Because if you remember correctly, there is only A and B. O is the absence. So these little yellow guys, their job is to attack anything that is not an A antigen red blood cell. So you get to the hospital. Your mom says, "My son is blood type A. He needs blood." So the doctor's like, "All right, let's get this guy some blood type A." So this is you. They stick a needle in your arm. They give you this donor blood type A. The question is, are you going to live or die from receiving this blood? That is going to be solely determined by the interaction of these guys in your blood, antibodies, with the red blood cells you're receiving. If you notice, these Pac-Man shaped things don't exactly fit the shape of the A antigen. What that means is these guys here do not have the ability to attack those red blood cells. That means you're going to live. You can always receive the same blood type that you actually possess. That is key. If you're blood type A, you can get A. We'll throw in the rhesus antigen here shortly. Let's do another scenario. So, let's pretend you're somebody else, or it's your best friend now. Your best friend just saw you juggling chainsaws and decided he could give it a try. He tries juggling the same chainsaws. He severs his arm, just like the last scenario. You rush him to the hospital. You get there, and they're like, "Oh, what's his blood type? We need to give him IV fluids. We need to give him blood." And your mom's there, not that kid's mom. They're like, "Oh my God, I don't know." And you have some really stupid doctors there. And they're like, "Who cares? Let's just give him blood type B." So this is your friend's blood type A. Notice the A antigens on the surface. And the antibodies in the plasma are right here. Their job is to attack anything that's not A. So they stick a needle in your friend's arm. They give him blood type B. The question is, are you going to live or are you going to die? Your friend, I mean. Well, if this blood gets placed inside your veins, your antibodies are going to swoop over and they're going to say, hey, who are you? And if you notice, their antibody shape matches up with the surface antigen shape. That's a bad scenario. These things are going to start attacking these red blood cells over and over and over again, and it starts to get clumpy and thick, and agglutinating is what it's called, and it kind of turns your blood into this jellyish looking substance, and you die. That is no joke. If you were blood type A and you are given B, your antibodies are going to attack that B and you're going to die. It's important that you understand that in a donor blood, and I'm not sure of the reason for this, you see the antibodies that are in here, they don't do anything to your cells. I don't get it. I'm going to be really honest with you. I probably should have looked it up before I did this lecture, but I do not remember the reason why. Your body is the only thing that does the attacking. The donor does no attacking. They get attacked. All right, let's play pretend again. This time, let's say, I don't know, what would cause severe bleeding? You're cutting up an apple in your kitchen, and you aren't paying attention, and you cut a very deep cut in your hand. You're bleeding, and you suspect that you've nicked an artery. So it's like splurting, like blood, red, this deep red, nice, bright red color. You go to the hospital. Your mom says you're blood type O. You get a doctor that, let's not call him stupid this time. Let's just say that this doctor is dumb. This doctor says, oh, you're blood type O? Cool. We'll give you AB. The ultimate question is, are you going to die? That's going to come down to what kind of antibodies are in your blood if you're blood type O. Well, you have the A and the B antibodies. If that doctor gives you AB blood, you're going to notice that all of those antibodies are going to come over and say, hey, we match up. You're not supposed to be here. They start clumping. They start agglutinating. That turns into this jellyous substance, and you dead because your doctor gave you a blood that your antibodies would attack. What does this mean? You're going to need to know what characteristics determine your blood type, and also what characteristics determine which type of blood you can receive in a transmission. So I created like a rule of 3. Things to remember are, whatever blood you are being given, those antibodies can't attack you. That's good to know. If you are receiving blood, your antibodies in your own blood will attack the donors if they match up. Your blood type is determined by the surface antigens, whether it's A antigens, B antigens, both, or missing, and also the rhesus antigen. Let's do a quick video review. I know this video is long, but this is a little bit tougher concept.
All the same. All of the cells in your body are covered in antigens.
Try that one more time.
In a lot of important ways, human beings are pretty similar to one another. But when it comes to blood, there are definitely different types, 8 to be exact. Our different blood types stem from the fact that we all have immune systems, and while they work equally well, they're not all the same. All of the cells in your body are covered in antigens. These are special protein markers that function sort of like name tags, saying these cells belong to you. When your immune system detects antigens that aren't familiar, it triggers the release of antibodies that tag foreign invaders and mark them for termination. Now, there are 2 main types of antigens that form on your red blood cells. They are called agglutinogens. They activate antibodies that smother invaders like a team of rugby players and cause coagulation in the blood. The 2 kinds of agglutinogens are wisely given the discernible names A and B. So your red blood cells could have one kind of agglutinogen, or both, or you could have neither. And if you have any of these antigens on your blood cells, that means you don't have any antibody for it. If you did, those antibodies would attack your own cells. On the flip side, you do have antibodies that would attack the type of antigen that you don't have. So, for example, if your red blood cells have A antigens on them, then your blood type is A, and your antibodies would attack type B. If you have B antigens on your blood cells, then you're type B, and you have antibodies for type A. If you have both, you're type AB, and you don't have antibodies for either. And some people have neither kind of antigen. Their genes actually code for an agglutinogen that just doesn't work, and they have antibodies for both A and B. These guys are called type O. Now, just to keep things interesting, there's another set of antigens on your blood cells that works in different ways from the agglutinogens. This is known as the rhesus or Rh system, and it's actually a collection of 45 different antigens, but they're all produced as a single group, so you either have all of them or you have none of them. If your red blood cells have the Rh antigens on them, we say that you're Rh positive, and if you don't, you're Rh negative. So this is how we end up with 8 different blood types, A, B, AB, and O, each with a positive and negative type. Now, when it comes to transfusing blood from one person to another, compatibility is kind of important to preventing a serious, possibly life-threatening reaction. But finding the right match has less to do with which letter you have than which letter you have the antibodies for, which sounds confusing, but let me explain. So type AB people don't have antibodies for either A or B, so they can accept A, B, or O. But type O's have both A and B antibodies, so they can only accept other O's. And as for the Rh antigens, people with positive blood types can accept either positive or negative blood. But negative types are safest taking only negative blood, because while they can tolerate positive blood, they can do it only once. After that, they'll form antibodies against the Rh antigens that they received, which means they can never accept positive blood again. The human body is so weird. Thank you so much for watching this quick question, especially to our subbable subscribers who keep these answers coming. If you have a quick question, let us know on Facebook or Twitter or in the comments below, and don't forget to go to youtube.com/scishow and subscribe.
Alright, so hopefully you liked that recap there and kind of brought everything together in 3 minutes, what you need to know about blood typing. What I've also provided for you is there's a Bozeman biology here in this PowerPoint that's about 10-15 minutes long. That'll go over it even further. If you for some reason aren't learning from me and you need reiteration or a different point of view, you can go to Bozeman. But I really like this Nobel Prize game. This game essentially simulates you as a doctor giving somebody blood. I'll kind of walk you through it real quick so you can kind of see what it is, but this is excellent practice as trying to figure out what kind of blood can be given to a patient. You have to understand, however, that knowing what kind of blood you can receive does not mean you know the reason why. So you have to know why you can receive certain types of blood, but also on top of that, what types of blood you can receive as a patient. So let's do a quick game. Let's do right here. Alright, and the sound effects for this are just amazing. So here's essentially what happens. So I'm going to pick, purple hair. And what happens is this person has come to the hospital and they need blood. But the first thing we have to do is we have to determine what their blood type is. So we're going to take this giant syringe, we're going to stab them in the neck repeatedly, and then we're going to actually stick it in their arm and draw some blood out. What we have here are 3 test tubes. This is extremely important. Inside these test tubes are antibodies. Not antigens, antibodies. Antibodies are those things that attack red blood cells, remember? So in here are antibodies that their job is to attack red blood cells that are red blood cell type A. Inside here are antibodies that their job is to attack red blood cells that have the B antigen on their surface. And in this one has antibodies for Rh that their job is to attack antigens that are on the surface of red blood cells that are Rh. So what are you going to do? You're going to first put a little bit of blood in each one and mix it up. You give it a quick stir, and what you'll notice is that blood clumped up. Here's what that means. All the antibodies in here flat out went at the red blood cells, attacked them, and started to cause them to agglutinate, so they've clumped up. What does that mean to you? That means that this blood that is the patient's, on the surface of them, there is the presence of the A antigen. That means at the minimum, this person is blood type A. But we know that they could be AB, so we got to test the B also. We'll drop some blood in, give it a quick shake. Holy crap, you notice that those antibodies in the B also attacked it. That means on the surface of that red blood cell, there are also B antigens. So now we know at the minimum this person is blood type AB, but we have to figure out if they're AB positive or AB negative. So we use the remainder of the blood, we put it in there, and we kind of stir it up. Swizzle, sizzle. Ooh, no clumping. That means that this person does not have the rhesus antigen on the surface. They are negative for the rhesus antigen. So what is this patient's blood type? Well, clumped in A, clumped in B, we know that they're AB. Did not clump in the Rh, they are AB negative. We're bloody right. We're not done saving this patient's life. Now we have to figure out what kind of blood we can give them in a transfusion. Down here are all of your types of blood that you could possibly give. There's only 8, just so you know. All 8. We've already discussed that as a patient, you can get the same type of blood that you actually are. So if we go over and we find AB negative, hook it up on the IV. Oh, they're getting better. But if you notice, still not fully functional on the healthometer, which that's a real thing. And you notice down here it says you can actually give them a total of 4 different types of blood. If you remember from our little lecture we had a second ago, anybody that is negative, what does that mean? Well, the first thing you have to understand is if you're AB, you can receive A and B because you do not have, as an AB person, antibodies that are going to attack A or B. Now the ultimate question is, what else can you have? Let's try this one just for fun. Apparently that doesn't work. Why, you say? Because this is AB positive. If we were to give them that blood, the antibodies would attack them and bad thing would happen. Let's try O. Excuse me. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you, if you click on it, it'll show you what's on the surface of their red blood cells. It's kind of like a cheat sheet.
Yes!
Boom! Save this person's life. You can do it again if you want. Blood type. Stab him. Get some blood. Take it over. Shake it up. Shake it up. Drop it in. Shake it up. Yes, it's 918. Oh man. Oh man. So, now you have to figure out what their blood type is. We put red blood cells into these antibodies, got attacked. Didn't get attacked. Got attacked. So, if it got attacked with A antibodies, it is blood type A. Didn't attack B, so we know it's not B. Didn't attack B, so we know it's not AB. It's not O, because if it was O, it wouldn't have attacked anything. Attacked the RH, A positive. We're bloody right. I'm not going to do any further because this video is getting long enough. But this is a perfect opportunity for you to practice what's going on. If you need